Okay, passes to Nizam. Saturdays were always very pleasant, pleasant days for Nizam, and this should have been no exception as he sat in the rooftop cafe in town, reading the newspaper, watching the world go by on the street below as a young teacher who had made his parents so proud of him on the day that he qualified. He spent every evening during the week correcting essays and planning lessons, and this week he had been given the additional burden of having to write reports on his junior classes chore he had been forced to defer until the weekend. More than that, he was distracted from his expected relaxation by the knowledge that his principal had asked him to produce a topic for the school's annual story writing competition. He had achieved a lifelong ambition in becoming a teacher, so writing such a topic should be no problem. He picked up his pencil and wrote on a piece of paper, write a story about a person who had stopped his mind blank. Sighing, he went back into his newspaper. He realized he was irritated at having to produce the competition topic, and the task nagged away at him like mild toothache. Moreover, there was an infuriating article in the newspaper denouncing all young people as being lazy, inconsiderate, impolite. On and on went the list in what some felt was an unjustified tirade against the younger generation. The young students in Islam taught were not lazy, inconsiderate, or impolite, and in any case, at the age of 23, was he not able to count himself as being in that age group? And there is the tea you ordered, smiling. Nizam looked up at the waiter. Instead of reciprocating his smile, the waiter, an elderly man, gave Nizam a stony look. Clearly, his heart was not in his job as he clattered the cup on the table, causing some of the tea to spill into the saucer, picked up the pencil again. Nizam wrote, write a story about an elderly person who it was no good and it was no good the ideas simply would not present themselves. From the rooftop terrace, Nizam had a bird's eye view of the town below. The normal Saturday morning market was in full swing. Stalls had been set up selling vegetables in a wild riot of colors. Florists coaxed husbands to buy flowers for their wives, and the aroma of various spices competed with one another. Nizam smiled at the uh, cacophon- cacophonous sales talk from the stallholders and apparent hostility to one another, which was merely a routine and a good-natured part of the morning's entertainment. On the one of the young stallholders was being very attentive to a woman who reminded Nizam of his grandmother in stature, dress, and age. The woman was examining a silk scarf tourniquet this way and that in her hands. She seemed to indicate that it was not what she was looking for, and the smiling stallholder offered another scarf for her to examine, then another. Still, she appeared to show a little interest in buying any of them. The scarves kept coming, plain, multicolored, geometric patterns, bright colors, subdued colors, square, rectangular. And then, shocked, Nizam gasped in outrage as almost imperceptibly the woman's right hand dropped one of the scarves into her conveniently voluminous handbag, her left hand casually adjusting the necklace at her throat. She loitered a few moments more at the stall, affecting nonchalance at the offered scarves before moving away towards one of the vegetable stalls. For a second, Nizam was rooted to the spot. Write a story about an elderly person who steals something at the market, he thought. Then his sense of justice prevailed, and he shot out of the cafe, taking the stairs two at a time. What, there you are going, snarled a customer, staggering to keep his balance and clearly incensed that Nizam had collided with him. Arriving breathlessly at the vegetable stall, Nizam summoning all his courage, raised a hand to tap the scarf thief lightly on the shoulder. It was at that very second that he felt a heavy hand on his own shoulder. Think you can run off without paying, do you? You young people are all the same. Nizam's imagination latched on to the possible consequences of his actions and the likelihood of his behavior being misinterpreted and the irony of it all, he thought. So the question is section two, reading for meaning. Read passage to Nizam in the insert and answer all the questions below. Paragraph one. 3a. Give two reasons why Nizam was happy on the day that he qualified as a teacher. He had made his parents proud. He had achieved a lifelong ambition. B. Nizam had to write reports on his junior classes. What is the other reason why Nizam's weekend was less relaxing than it normally was? He had to produce a topic for the school's annual story writing competition. From paragraph 2, 4a, the young students Nizam thought were not lazy, inconsiderate, or impolite. What is the other reason why Nizam found the newspaper article infuriating? He was young like his students. B. Instead of reciprocating the smile, the waiter, an elderly man, gave Nizam a stony look. Explain in your own words the waiter's reaction to Nizam's smile. The waiter did not smile back. He instead looked at Nizam in unfriendly way. From paragraph 3, 5a, a contrast is created between the stallholders' apparent hostility and what is really going on. Without copying from the passage, describe what seems to be happening. They seem to be hostile to one another. Describe what is really going on. They are attracting the attention of the passers-by to sell their goods. And B. Pick out and write down the one word which shows that the standholders' sales stock never varied. routine. From paragraph 4, 6a, the stall holder showed the woman a scarf, then another, then another. What does then another show about? The stall holder's character. He is polite and good natured. The woman's character. She is clever. B. Nizam was shocked and eventually ran after the woman. What two other aspects of his behavior show that he was shocked? He gasped. Number two, he could not move. From paragraph 5, 7a, who do you think laid a heavy hand on Nizam's shoulder? It was Waiter's hand. B. Nizam thought the irony of it all explained the irony in Nizam's situation. Nizam was innocent and would be punished, whereas the woman was thief and would not be punished. 8. From paragraph 3 to 5 inclusive, for each of the words or phrases below, circle the letter A, B, C, or D, which has the same meaning that the word or phrase has in the passage. Riot means variety, B. Coaxed, persuaded, D. Imperceptibly, invisibly, C. Collided with, bumped into, B. Likelihood, probability, A. Reread paragraph 4, which contains the phrases about A, the woman, and B, Nizam. Explain the meaning of the phrases as they are used in the passage. The effect, of the phrases as they are used in the passage. A. Her conveniently voluminous handbag, line 36. Meaning she was conveniently she has conveniently a big handbag. I think she had a conveniently big handbag. In fact, she could hide the stolen goods. B. He shot out of the cafe, meaning he dashed out of the cafe. Effect. It shows the explosive nature of his movement.